All right, hello. We have here a little experiment. So this is from the Great Salt Lake from yesterday when I went out. I am going to, smells really good. I'm gonna pour some of it in here. I'll take a closer look. Yummy. So this was just skimmed right off the top there of the water. Take a look at it. What do you think? Is this living or not? Is it mud? What do you think it is? This is a really pretty plant called Forsythia. We're gonna look at this under the microscope. I'll see what I can show you. All right, I wish you guys were with me so we could share in this excitement. Okay, here's what we just found. What in the world? Can you see it? Pretty cool, huh? This is what it looks like on the slide. This is what it looks like under the microscope. It's kind of cool that I am able to show you still. Look at that. Let's see if we can get even closer like that. There it is. All right, neat. All right, what's our next step? What do you think? Should we try to hatch these guys? Any more evidence for what this is? Getting closer. I want to compare. This is some sand that I took from the Great Salt Lake about, actually 2 years ago when I went out to the Spiral Jetty. So this has been with me for quite a while. So let's take a look at just what this sand looks like and compare it to this that I found in the water. It looks like it maybe both could be sand or something like that, but here we go. So there it is. And let's take a look underneath here. It might be a little bit harder. To see. Let's try to get it in focus with my own eyes. There we go. That's what that looks like. So,
What do you think? Take a look at these two samples, sketch them in your science notebook, and draw a conclusion based on what you observe with your eyes.
okay, so we can see that those two are really different. This is just the sand. This is called actually oolitic sand. So it's formed when there is one little, it can form around the brine shrimp eggs, and a bunch of calcium carbonate gets wrapped up and they get tossed around and it forms that really cool circular structure. Oolitic sand. Kind of, means egg in the double O in biology. And here we have the cysts. We have the brine shrimp cysts, or eggs. So when they're in the cyst form, they are getting ready to, they're kind of like in survival mode. They're like, we don't want anybody to mess with us, so we're going to cover ourselves in a hard coating. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. You know what, though? I'm not sure if this is cyst versus just regular eggs, so I kind of want to go look that up. All right, and there's no internet happening, no internet here, so good old internet won't help us on this investigation, which is A-okay. We're going to go with the assumption that maybe they're brine shrimp eggs, and either way, maybe they're cysts, but let's just go look and see. So my next thing is I'm going to actually water these down, and just see what they look like a little bit out of their little clump, their clumpy nature here. Okay, so these kind of look alive, huh? They're moving around. There is something that happens in science called Brownian movement, which is when things appear to be moving, but they're just being directed by the force of water. So which do you think is the thing that's happening here? They do seem to be moving around in this water column, kind of floating back up to the top, collecting up there. Curious to see what happens if after we leave this for a couple minutes, then we can figure out kind of what the density of brine shrimp is compared to water. Some of them have sunk down here.
All right, so I'm in the science lab and I'm looking for a few supplies, and this is one of our favorite activities to do when we have some extra time in science, is to just look around the Wunderkammer. So back in the day, scientists used to, and naturalists too, they would collect all their specimens and they would put them in a room. And the room would become their wonder room, the Wunderkammer. So this is kind of what an old science classroom is to me. There's all sorts of fun things that you can find. And here's some of them. I'll just show you this. So we're looking for maybe a tank to hatch our brine shrimp eggs in. And the brine shrimp eggs are actually the same as cysts. When there's not enough nutrients and resources, they will not hatch. But if there are, they will. So this is, I'll show you this.
This was a sample from the U of U's Red Butte Gardens. We looked at some protozoan cultures back October 3rd, 2019, a little while ago. So, we got some things happening still. You know, I am kind of curious. It smells very alive. It smells, I don't know what that means necessarily, but it does smell like a pond. We got some green things. Should we look at these under the microscope? Let's do it.
And here's what it looks like, all nice and green. Do you remember what that color comes from? Which organelle houses the pigment chlorophyll? That's right, it's the chloroplast. Now you're enlightened.
So on our investigation, I actually stumbled upon this. Okay, so we have a whole setup here. We have the brine shrimp life cycle we're going to learn about. And these are actually, this is really interesting. So brine shrimp, you can buy them in the store, hatch your very own live fish food. And the price here, $4.80. Okay, we got ours, just took them from the Great Salt Lake. So let's take a look and let's open this up. All right, we found some very important things. This, I believe, is a bubbler. The tubing maybe needs to be replaced. We also have, okay, so let's just go through brine shrimp life cycle. Here are the cysts. They go into the nauplii, these fun little dudes. Subadults, the adult males, adult females. I think they'll be both in our little brood. And they give live birth, so I'm excited to see that happen. Okay, female brine shrimps can produce eggs called cysts. Cysts can survive, we just learned that, extremely tough conditions. They can be frozen, dried, and covered in salt for years at a time and hatch when conditions improve. Brine shrimp are also produce live young. These are called nauplii. If conditions are good, a female brine shrimp can produce around 300 nauplii or cysts every 4 days. Since she can live as long as 3 months, that's a lot of young. Well, if we're going to undergo this and start to hatch our eggs, I might need your help. Anybody want some brine shrimp? I'll hook you up. Okay, let's see what else we got. To make our ecosphere, we need a funnel, container, tap water, table or rock salt, must be non-iodized. Can you think of why? That iodine's pretty toxic for a little brine shrimp. Algae discs, crushed up from the pet store. Algae. I think we had some algae over there. Might work. I also know that you can feed them some other things as well. Don't want to go to the store right now. Alright, so if we use tap water, we need to let it sit in a container for 24 hours to remove the chlorine. Mark the top of the water level with add salt. And just a really small pinch of the brine shrimp eggs. Don't use all that's provided. Well, so we maybe don't want to hatch all of ours. Brine shrimp should hatch and be swimming within 48 hours. All right, and interesting, we'll see a little cycle of minerals here. The longer the brine shrimp live, the more debris will accumulate at the bottom of your ecosphere. To clean, use anything that will filter out water. A coffee filter works great. Pour most of the water out through the filter. Dump the last inch of water and debris mix out. Use the funnel to wash the shrimp back into the tank with freshly made salt water. Okay, so a lot of care goes into taking care of our little brine shrimp. But yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Draw and write notes every single day. I'll give you a little update. You can see what we find. Follow-up questions. Cool, so I'll supply you these questions. Eared grebes feed mainly on brine shrimp. They can eat thousands of brine shrimp a day. Yummy. So the brine shrimp, they're our primary consumers. They eat the algae, which are our primary producers. What do you think we'd call the eared grebes? That's right, those are our secondary consumers. And then this is a fun math question, I skipped that, but if a female produces 253 nauplii and then 1 week later has 327 more, how many nauplii total did she produce? So you gotta add that up. And then you can average it, do a little math fun. All right, well, we'll try to count up. It might be kind of hard, but let's see how this goes. Brine shrimp life cycle. Cysts, what they look like. And then we have some crushed algae pellets. We're good to go there. We have a functioning light. That's awesome. Want to keep it at a constant temperature. And let's see, do we have a bubbler? We want to be able to circulate some oxygen in, and I think that's what this is. All right, so I'm going to set up this setup, and we'll see what happens to our shrimpies. All right, I just checked the bubbler, see if it works, and I wish you guys were here with me so you could feel this, but you can feel air. But you know what? You can see if it works. What can I do to show you it works? What do you think? Oh, at first I was like, no, it's not working. Can you see it? Dissolved oxygen. They're in there, they're bubbles. It's kind of hard to see, but I can see them. There you go, can you see that? Well, maybe not. I don't know, what do you think? I kind of saw some bubbles. Yeah, I think I see bubbles. Okay, we tested a couple of the water bubblers, and I don't know if they're gonna work. It's kind of a bummer. But I did find this in cyst. A sea monkey's no monkey or chimp, it's crustacean, better known as brine shrimp. This genus Artemia can deal with extremia as a cyst stage is hardly a wimp. By C. Drews. Who that is, I don't know. But that is a great little poem rhyme thing.
Can you come up with a limerick based on what we just learned about brine shrimp? Here's the rules. The first, second, and fifth line rhyme, and the third and fourth line rhyme to themselves. Here's another example. A colony of cyst floated on the lake. A curious eye was pondering if it was real or fake. When out of the blue came a seagull and grebe too, before the nauplii had time to wake. Post what you come up with below.
Okay, so here's what we came up with. Got this tank here, filled it with water from the sink, but since it might be chlorinated, we're gonna let it sit overnight and allow the chlorine to evaporate. And then we'll be able to start hatching our brine shrimp. We'll put our salt mixture in there. I found a little heating pad, and we'll get this all up and running. And searching for signs of life. Here, I looked at some algae under the microscope, but then take a look at this little guy. Sprouting up. curious. Wonder where he came from.
Thanks for coming on the journey with me. I look forward to reading your limericks below, and we'll stay tuned for the next investigation. We'll see these little shrimpies hatch, hopefully.